Sales guys, today I did not plan to make a video especially because I don't feel well after dentist treatment, to be honest. But when I saw this in my feed, I couldn't stand still and wanted to share with you my thoughts watching Andrei Jikhs' latest video, Why I Quit Dividend Investing. The title says Why I Quit Dividend Investing, and I was really wondering why he would do it, because of the last years he was always a big fan of dividend investing. So let's check it out. Wait, before we start, first let's give him a like. To support the channel, the same way you can support my channel, to show that you believe in this project more than my wife, because she thinks it's a waste of time. So let's get it started.
I quit dividend investing. So let me just take you back to 2014. This is when I first started investing, and I was terrified of putting my money to work in the stock market because, well, I didn't understand how it worked. And so when I discovered dividend investing, I fell in love with it, and it made perfect sense to me. So let me just show you. This is my portfolio right here. It's worth roughly $350,000 today. Well, actually, $50,000 of that is money I haven't invested just yet, but I will soon. And this just made perfect sense to me because I get paid dividends every single month without having to sell a single stock of this. And if tomorrow this crashes 50% and it's worth half as much, $175,000, well, I still get paid those dividends. And even though these stocks don't grow in value as much as something like a Bitcoin or a Tesla, when there's a market crash, they also don't fall quite as hard. They still pay me dividends every single month. So I've kept track.
So far, he is only talking about the benefits you have with dividend investing. So I'm very curious for the rest. Let's watch it.
Of each and every single one of those dividend payments that I received, dating back to January 1st, 2015, when I received a whopping $13.24. And I know what you're saying, that is not nearly enough to actually retire on, and that's true, but at the time when
$13 for a monthly dividend, it's quite motivating, from $0 to $13. So I think that's not that bad.
started investing, that was all the proof I needed that this concept of money making money actually works, and that the stock market isn't this thing that's set up against you, and that it's rigged, and that it actually works, and that anyone can make money. So I fell in love and I stuck with it for 5 years. I saved 50% of my income, where I was earning $50,000 a year. I put it away, and everything I received, I reinvested it back into itself until it grew into what you see today. Now this year, just 7 short years later, it's not that long ago that I started, I made a little bit more in January because I made $520.35, and in February of this year I made $665.25, up from $15 in February of 2015. So the dividend snowball.
That's really good. That's really good. Imagine $500. In some states this is your monthly rent, so this is quite a good dividend, which keeps you motivated.
Is real, it is actually growing, and yes, I've reinvested.
All right, let's continue.
I've added more money, but the point is I love passive income. It's how I started my YouTube journey when I made that passive income video about how I made $781 with Robinhood. It was one of my first videos that went viral on my channel, and it played no small role in helping me get to this point. But I have learned a lot over the years, and I was lucky enough to collaborate with people that in many ways are smarter than me, and some of them I'm lucky to call my friends today. So let's talk about exactly why I quit dividend investing and what I'm doing now instead. Instead, I'm doing card tricks, because the stock market's like one giant card trick. Just when you think the stock market's gonna do one thing, instead, it does something else entirely. But then it goes back up, and then it goes down, and then it goes up, and then it goes.
This guy is so great. All his magic, it's really like magic watching his video.
Goes down, and it becomes something else entirely, like this ace of spades. Let's begin. Hi, my name is Andrei Jikh. Hope you're doing well. Come for the finance and stay for the crypto. Just kidding. There's no crypto in this video because this is still not a crypto channel. So let's talk about
Wait, this is no crypto channel. Let me get things just clear. Alright, dividend investing, crypto, stock, crypto, 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 NFTs, sort of crypto correlated, stock, crypto, crypto, crypto. Andrei, be honest with yourself. You just slipped into being a mostly crypto channel in the recent time. Not over the whole time of your channel, but recently, yes.
And what made me change my mind. Because here's the thing, every single year us nerds in the finance world of YouTube come together and we debate, because we're nerds and we like to debate on every single dollar, which one is better to put your money into. Dividend stocks that pay you passive income, or is it better to put your money into growth stocks like Tesla that pay you no dividends at all? The critics of dividend investing say that there's nothing magical about dividends. But I beg to differ, because magic's all around us. If you watch my YouTube channel, you can see this totally ordinary looking wallet that actually has more than meets the eye. If you look closer, it has $1. Totally not suspicious looking device. I wanted to make the case for why dividend investing is amazing and why I think everyone should try it out. And then I want to talk about why I quit dividend investing and what made me
I gotta go.
change my mind. So first, let's talk about why dividend investing is incredible. Between the years of 1930 to 2017, dividends have accounted for roughly 42% of the entire market return, which means dividends play a pretty big role in increasing the market's value. But in a flat stock market, aka a market that just goes up and down, but ultimately stays flat, that's when the dividend investment strategy really shines, because you're not just making money on paper like you do with growth stocks. You're just going up, but then you decrease and then you increase, but you're not really making money. But with dividends, you are actually realizing those gains. You're actually collecting the money that gets deposited into your account, which then you use to reinvest back into the markets, therefore increasing the market share, aka you're actually getting more and more stocks. So that's reason number one. Reason number two why dividends are incredible is because it is one of the only investing strategies that exists today where you can earn an above average income and still pay nothing in taxes. It's pretty crazy. There's no loopholes, there's no accounting tricks, it's all pure cardistry. Just kidding. There's no tricks. It's the law. Because if you earn between $0 to $40,400 per year, you will pay nothing in taxes on qualified dividends if you file forever alone. But if you're married and you file jointly, you can earn up to $80,800 per year and still pay nothing in taxes. Just to blow your mind though, this is like if you were living in Los Angeles, California, filing jointly if you were both making a combined total of $100,000 per year. So in this case, it's almost like you got a $20,000 bonus tax credit to pay off your taxes. Name any other asset that you can do this with, or any other investing strategy. Real estate.
In many parts of the US, this is enough to live a very decent life. So yes, this is a really good strategy. But still, I don't get why he quit dividend investing.
Crypto, there's really nothing like that. Unless, of course, you had like a $100 million tax write-off from real estate losses, but you probably don't want to base your money-making strategy off of making money from losing money. I make money by losing money, what's up? It's almost like those coupons that give you 50% off. Yeah, you get to save 50%, but why not save 100% of your money and not spend it at all? Stonks. Reason number three why dividends are amazing is because of something we discovered in 2008. And by we, I mean people way smarter than me. I was just graduating high school and I didn't care about any of this stuff. But the 4% rule was actually updated because of dividends. Remember, the 4% rule is basically the infinite money glitch, right? So if you invest 60% of your money into the S&P 500, aka the VOO stock, that's the ETF of the S&P 500, and if you put the other 40% into bonds, then you can live indefinitely without ever running out of money at the 4% withdrawal rate. But we can actually bump that up to to 5% by instead focusing on the top 100 companies from the S&P 500 that pay dividends. So now that 1% difference makes a big change. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're retired and you have $1 million portfolio, that's the difference between living off of $40,000 a year and $50,000 a year. That $10,000 is a big difference because I'm good at math. The fourth reason why dividend investing is amazing is because it allows you to plan and anticipate your retirement way better and more accurately, because as a growth investor, sure, your net worth is increasing faster and it's growing at a higher rate, but you also have to sell off your principal equity, aka your stocks, which means you need good timing and good luck on your side, which people in 2008 did not have. Imagine you've been...
That's why I like stocks that pay not so much dividends, but are very good, have a very good growth, like Apple, for example. And when I retire, I think that my dividend will be so high that I can fairly live off it.
Saving and investing away for 20 plus years, and then one year you're like, I'm so ready to quit my job and start my magic and cardistry career. Said no one ever. Then 2008 happens and you lose 50% of your portfolio. Well, guess what? That just set you back a decade. Well, if you're young, that's fine. You can continue working, or maybe you can retire and maybe supplement some of that income with a part-time job. But what happens when you're old and you no longer can work? Well, then you're forced to retire and sell off your stocks anyway, except now you're going to be selling them at twice the rate at that I got the first vaccine, I swear. But now you're going to be selling off the stocks at twice the rate that you plan to, except with dividend investing, I could plan that much more accurately because all I have to do is look at my expenses, aka what am I spending every month, and then compare that to my dividend income, aka the interest that it's paying me, and if the two are the same, or if the passive income is greater than my expenses, I can just quit my job. And if not, well then I continue working. And if the market crashes and my portfolio decreases in value, well then I still don't really care, because if I did a good job investing in good, blue chip, solid, dividend paying companies, well then I still continue to get paid roughly about the same. So I can still plan for that regardless. But Andrei, dividends are not guaranteed to be paid to you, especially in a market crash. Well, guess what? Neither is price appreciation. So that point is kind of canceled out. The fifth reason is really what changed everything for me, but it was the psychological benefits of being a dividend investor, because as somebody who earns and gets paid these dividends, I can look at that stuff and think of myself as a real actual investor rather than somebody who's buying pieces of paper or random digits on a computer or on a phone screen. This way I feel like I'm an actual owner of these businesses and I'm an investor that gets paid those dividends and that income. That is a really powerful strategy that has helped me invest in the market for as long as I have been. That and the bull market that's lasted over 10 years, but don't question my genius. Andrei, if dividends are so great, why did you stop doing it then?
Finally, the question we are all waiting for.
The first reason is because when I started my YouTube channel, I wasn't making $40,400 a year. I was making a lot less. And so it made more sense to be a dividend investor because all of the income that I...
So far, I made $0, so click like and subscribe, helping me making also some dollars out of this channel. Thank you.
Made from the passive income of my dividends, I wasn't taxed on the qualified income. And now I've got rich people problems because now I make more than $441,451, and now I'm placed in the highest tax bracket where now I have to pay 20% on my dividend income. And that's a lot of money. I have nothing against paying taxes. I think that's an important part of society. But at the same time, that's also money that I don't really need to pay to the government if all I do is invest in growth stocks instead, and I get to save a lot more money on taxes. I'm still going to pay taxes. It's still not going to be free because even index funds like VTI.
So I get the feeling because he is in this tax bracket, it just makes no more sense keep ongoing his current strategy in dividend investing. But let's see.
I give you a yield of 1.35%, but that's still a lot lower than the 4% my stocks are giving me today. But Andrei, just put your stocks into a Roth IRA account. That way your dividend income is not taxed at all, you idiot. And that's true. If I put my stocks into a Roth IRA account, then the income I make won't be taxed until I'm ready to retire. But the thing is, the Roth IRA has a contribution limit of $6,000 per year, which is better than nothing, but that's still a lot less money than what I typically want to invest every single year. The real workaround to that problem is the mega backdoor Roth conversion, which allows you to put in way more than $6,000 per year, which is something I'll be doing this year, and I'll make a video about that.
I never heard of that.
Enough nerds watching this video ask me about it. You nerd. The second reason
So
is
just, we ask him. Oh, wait. I really do. I really do. Just as honest.
growth investing or index investing in the overall broad market has almost always beat dividend investing. And it's hard to admit, but I have looked at decades worth of data going as far back as the 1900s, and I still have not found anything that beats a simple VTI or VOO ETF. And I've looked at a lot of them. I've looked at SPHD, SCHD, VIG, VYM, NOBL, some of which I've owned, and none of them beat an overall broad market index or the S&P 500. So if I can pay less money to the government up front and make more money in the long run, then it makes more sense. And that's really the biggest reason why, numerically speaking, anyone should be a growth investor versus a dividend investor. But it's just not as easy as some people make it seem, especially not in the beginning, unless you have the emotional nerves and capacity of a robot or a Meet Kevin. But we can certainly learn from each other. The third reason is much more personal to me, because when I started my dividend investing journey, I was so motivated and inspired by this FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early movement that said that you could just quit your job in your early 30s or 40s.
Yeah, and the great thing about it is not that you have to retire into nothing whole day, but you have the freedom to just do what you want, what you enjoy. And if you don't earn so much money doing it, that's okay, because you have enough dividends which pay you.
And that really motivated me. But now, just 2 years later, after starting my YouTube channel, I'm very fortunate to say that I've kind of reached that point. And if I wanted to, I could disappear forever and ever and live on a beach somewhere off of $50,000 a year and never run out of money. But that does not sound appealing. Making these videos, answering your comments, engaging with people, that seems to be giving me way more purpose and a sense of fulfillment that I'm not ready to let go of just yet. And maybe in the future I could reconsider, but I feel like as a content creator right now, there's a lot more that I can do than just make videos. Maybe in the future I can be a business owner that has a brokerage like Robinhood or BlockFi. So as I've become more financially independent, obviously my goals have been upgraded as well. So now instead of FIRE, Fat Fire, which is basically, instead of spending an average income, you're going to spend an above average income of roughly $100,000 a year of passive income. But when I'm actually ready to retire, then dividends will make a lot more sense, because then from a taxation perspective, I'll probably end up earning less money in retirement than I do working 24/7 today. But if I end up being wrong, then that's a good problem to have. And if I end up being some successful business mogul with tens of millions of dollars, well then by that point, I don't think I'll care spending an extra 30-40% on taxes.
You know what? I wish his wealth will grow extremely, because he's just such a good and nice guy.
That's a good problem to have. But in the meantime, I'm not going to sell my dividend portfolio. I'm going to leave it exactly as it is, and I'm going to take every single dollar and reinvest it back into itself. And if I do that consistently for the next 20 years, this portfolio will be worth roughly $1.67 million, and it'll be paying me roughly $178,000 a year, or about $15,000 a month.
So he just said he is basically compounding his dividend portfolio. He just doesn't put more money in it continuously, but throughout the compound effect, he will have a really decent amount when he retires. Nice. So he quit dividend investing, but sort of not really, because he keeps his account and compound is.
Can get behind those numbers. I'm not going to sell that. Because if for whatever reason the economy and the stock market is not doing well that year when I'm retired, well then guess what? I can just live off of my dividends. Even if they get cut in half, that's still enough to keep me afloat. And if the market is doing well, like it is today, well then I can sell off my ETFs to pay for my expenses, and I can balance the two out. And if interest rates ever go back up, well that's when growth won't do as well, because remember, growth does better when interest rates are low, because it's cheaper to borrow money, and that's what stimulates growth. So my dividends will do better in that environment. And if I have cash on the side, I just feel like I'm covered from all sides no matter what's going on in the world. So now let me share with you exactly which of the stocks I'll be focusing on now that I'm more focused on growth rather than dividends. I'll be buying a lot more of VTI and VOO. So VTI is the broad market index fund, and VOO, V, Roman numeral for 5, OO is the S&P 500. So both of these ETFs are ridiculously similar. Take a look at their charts. Over the last, I don't know how many decades, they almost performed identically, and so they're great. The reason I like VTI is because it has stocks like Tesla incorporated into it long before the S&P 500 does, because it has to get approved by a committee. So stocks like Tesla go under the radar in VOO while VTI incorporates it. And the other reason I like VOO is because it allows me to do what's called tax loss harvesting between the two. Since they're so similar, if one of them's lost money, I can just sell off one and buy the other, and it's not considered a wash sale. And it's a really cool strategy that I'll use. So I guess quit dividend investing is a little bit over dramatic of a title, but
yes, I already thought the same. But hey, he's a YouTube broadcaster, so let's be fair. He can keep it.
I guess I'll just say I took a detour for a little bit. And if you haven't already, don't forget to grab up to $250 worth of free Bitcoin using this BlockFi link right here, blockfi.com/Andrei. And once you've done that, go get 2 free stonks from Webull if you deposit $100 using.
So after the video, I feel a little bit more relaxed, because I understand why he does that. He's just in the highest tax bracket, and it makes no more sense pushing more money into his account. Instead, he just compounds it, and overall, out of his dividend portfolio, he will have a decent amount when he retires. Fair enough. Andrei, it was a nice video. I hope you guys enjoyed my reaction on Andrei Jikhs' newest video. I hope you have an above average day. See you next time.